Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on, Dad?
Sup? What are you doing?
Oh, just chilling, hanging out with my dogs today, watching some football.
How did
Uh,
that make you feel?
oh man, it was a real weird feeling to be completely honest. The beings, okay, so I don't know if you knew that how much you know about the broadcasting with the preseason this year and how it's going. Hi, Maria. But so I heard this right during pregame. I watched the Patriots Washington game. I did not watch the Steelers Phillies game, but they said that people like in Pittsburgh in that area on- didn't get their game and like so basically it was split up. No matter where you live, you only could see one of the two games because of broadcasting rights. So I got the Patriots game, thankfully, because like I literally didn't care to watch the Philadelphia game over the Patriots game because Mac Jones, Cam Newton, the whole big ordeal. They got a whole new offense. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to go. But I did chime in to the game updates about the other game going on just to keep tabs on it. Joe Flacco was looking pretty good today.
You know, that's a strange. His career is kind of strange. He's one of those guys that just goes up and down really drastically, and it seems like he couldn't go any further down when he got traded from Denver or wherever he was at, and then here again now he's back in preseason and actually looking like he might be able to actually quarterback a team in the league.
Well, listen, he had his run with Baltimore where he got his name, he got his fame, he did good things, he did bad things. His bulk of his career, which usually happens to a lot of quarterbacks, that find their footing really early in their career. They usually stay with that team most of it. And then he got shoved over to the biggest waste of space in the NFL other than the Houston Texans, which was the New York Jets. And Sam Darnold had gotten hurt. He got to play. I'm pretty sure, like, this is how I know that they were trying to lose. Like, they were literally trying to lose because I think the Jets could have won 6 games last year. And all of those games were quarterbacked by Joe Flacco, but I feel like they were holding him back, like terrible play calling because he looked really good. Um, with the Jets. I don't know how much you watched of it last year, but I watched almost every single NFL game that was able for me to watch. And so I was really keeping tabs on him because, he's getting up there in age and he's on a team that quarterbacks go to die. And so I was really curious, but he did really good. And so I was like, there is no way they were trying to win because they could have. I mean, they beat the Rams, who had the number one defense in the league last year. That was one of the two teams they beat with the Rams. Right there tells you they could have won more games. I think it was either terrible coaching or purposefully calling bad plays on, like trying to lose 100%. And so I didn't even think about Joe Flacco when I was thinking about the games today until I got like a midway during the first or second quarter. It was like this screen pass that Joe Flacco threw and he ran it for like 60 yards and a touchdown. Look, I know that's not showcasing a quarterback skill. That's showcasing your line and everybody else, basically. Everybody but the quarterback. The only hard part about that is making sure the ball gets in the right place to the guy in the screen at the right time. And so, but other than that, he did look pretty good. And Philadelphia straight up was like, we're not going to announce our starter until week 1. And so, like, I a lot of teams are doing that. Like Gardner Minshew and Trevor Lawrence. They said they're not going to announce a starter. We all know how it's going to go. But, like, I don't know why they're doing, like, I just feel like they don't like Jalen Hurts, and I don't know why. He wasn't really given a chance, and so he filled in for Carson Wentz. That is nothing. That means literally nothing. That means you can stand there and get hit 30 times a game, or you can try. Literally, you can throw a mannequin in as quarterback, and you're already improving. So and then they're just like, yeah, we don't know if we want to even keep Jalen, let alone make him our starter. And so I'm like, why are you hating him so bad? He is a stud. I don't care. He just hasn't got. If he went anywhere but Philly, Detroit, and the Jets, anywhere else, he would have put up MVP numbers last year if they let him play at all.
You know, what do you think that is? Do you think that that's the other side of football that we never see, the personality side? Why might somebody get blacklisted? Personality, whether it be, and I don't even want to use the term, but political beliefs, a la Colin Kaepernick. Do you think something like that may have happened in some of these instances where great guys get kind of pushed to the side?
1 second. Hey, what's up, Ian? Thanks for hanging out. Also, okay. Chris, how's it going, man? It's nice of you to stop by. We appreciate you. I just wanted to get that out of the way, so I saw them and you were talking, I was talking, I didn't want to forget. But I really don't like. Okay, Colin Kaepernick is like a whole nother story. Even if you talk politics and sports, he is his own category. You cannot compare any other single football player to him at all. Like, he did what he did. He did it to himself. It was his fault. I feel like it was all a publicity stunt, and that's what he achieved. And now he's just look where his career got to him. Like, he is his own. You can't compare him. But people like Hurts and everything, I just feel like it's organizational issues. Oh, what's up, Aaron? Thanks for stopping by. And anyone else from the Samurai Beige clan, thanks for stopping by.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's organizational issues, just like Houston with Deshaun Watson. It's a little bit opposite right there, but it's kind of this. It's the same scenario, just opposite situations. Is like they want to keep him, and he doesn't want to be there because they're terrible. But Philadelphia, they're just terrible and don't know what they're doing. Therefore, they're ruining something that's brilliant right in front of their face.
It's something that we've never discussed, and I'll ask the question right now because you've really pushed my buttons to make me think about things. The marketing strategist teams for these organizations and how they play their media games and stuff like that is really super important to how the perception of their players ends up in today's media spotlight.
Well, so this is stuck in my brain, and I'm gonna have to get it out before completely acknowledging that. But it's kind of like the situation with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, Zach Taylor head coaching. Look, if this had been a veteran coach that was that bad, that Zach Taylor is, the same thing would have happened to Joe Burrow, what happened to Jalen Hurts. But the fact that Zach Taylor is still a very young head coach and he knows really well that he's still getting his footing and trying to figure things out, that he knows better to keep what he's got and respect what he has. And so, like, if the organization, people in charge, head coach from Philly was in Cincinnati when they drafted Joe Burrow, the same thing would be happening this year, whether he got hurt or not.
Yeah, it almost seems like everybody's just within the organization does what they feel that they have to do to protect their job. Like make him look like he's not capable of being the starter. Yeah, I get that, but that just brings me back to creative marketing and basically the job that Shelby applied for, right? That's the same job she applied for with Cincinnati, right? A marketing job.
I believe so, yeah.
So I know that they said that she wasn't qualified enough for that or whatnot, but it never even dawned on us to think that the way a team markets and handles their media really determines the perception of what their players look like to the outside world.
No, yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm with you like 100%. And it's like taken me this long in I want to say my career of sports watching, because I treat it more of a job than I do my actual job sometimes. I put just as much time and effort and feelings and emotions into it that I would a job. And so being that this is the first time in my life that I have like dug this deep organizationally into different teams, organizations, coaching staff, all the way up, down, top to bottom. And, I really noticed a lot of things that really bother me. And, I only ever noticed it in Cincinnati because that is where all my time, I was trying to figure out how everything was going so wrong all the time. And I didn't know and I didn't understand. And so then I took this year and this COVID year, which was a weird football year we had last year, to really dive into everything. And then, it didn't help that the Philadelphia dumpster fire was happening, the Houston dumpster fire was happening, Detroit was being Detroit, like all of these organizations having these issues that, during the COVID year, we had nothing else to talk about where the team struggles and issues that just popped up, And so it gave me a lot of free time to really understand and see what was happening. And it's just crazy to me how messed up things can be and why, it makes you realize why certain things happen the way they do. Because if I hadn't spent this year learning, going into this season right now, I wouldn't understand why they wouldn't just name Jalen Hurts a starter. I wouldn't understand why they didn't fight to keep Carson Wentz because that city loves him. Like I wouldn't understand those things, but now I do. I can see it and it makes sense. And not that I completely understand it, but I get it now.
So, so since you opened that can of worms, since you went from the Philadelphia situation, Jim Irsay says, "Hey, Carson, I don't care when you get healthy, whether it be 2 months, 2 years, or 4 years. I want you to be healthy. Don't feel like you need to rush back." That's kind of cryptic in my mind when I read that tweet today. How'd you feel?
Oh, I've been seeing a lot of memes right now and a lot of COVID memes. And it was just like my fall plans and it was like whatever. And then it was like the Delta variant. And literally there was a picture and it was like my fall plans. And it's a picture of Carson Wentz and it says Delta variant, also a picture of Carson Wentz. And I've been laughing about that all day. Also, I just want to make a quick shout out to the Philippines and all of the people in our stream tonight that are in the Philippines. We really appreciate you guys being here, and it means a lot to us. Um, Thank you for all of the comments and kind words. We really, truly appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts.
Absolutely, and it's so nice to have to keep up with chat as it goes by. I was trying to keep up with it earlier and post a lot, and it just got going so quick that it was really hard. But thank you to the Facebook group, every last one of you. Uh, Anybody that wants support for themselves, make sure you check out Alex or myself on our personal pages or our It's in the Blood page, or and hit us up there too, because we will gladly support you back.
Okay, oh yeah, before I get into this, I just pinned it so it didn't go away. But yeah, anybody who has any kind of channel, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, whatever it is, and you want to promote yourself or promote someone else, you can drop that in the chat and we'll be more than happy to check everybody out. And, as a everything, everything we do. And, my dad over here has his other YouTube channel for metal detecting. We're really about growth and not just with ourselves, but we want our friends to grow with us. And so I feel like the best way to grow is to help each other grow. And so anybody who wants to do so, by all means, drop your stuff in the chat and we will get back and check you out when we are done here tonight.
Yeah, and and just so Ian and Don knows, we're broadcasting on Facebook as well, and that's where most of the chat's coming from. I know you may see it when we post it over here, but there's a group of them in the Facebook chat too that we're trying to keep up with and recognize.
Grow communities and support all, 100%. But I did not mean to click off that because I forgot, so I'm going to find it again.
I got it.
Okay, so to answer your question, Chris, last year I made the drive to Kansas City, and well, technically it was this year, but last year's football season, and it was in January, and it was a playoff game, and so they were like it was still limited capacity. There was still 12,000 people there, which is a lot. But everybody had masks on unless they were eating or drinking in their seat. They were very like I know it's different per state, but like I feel like they did a really good job for someone who doesn't live there and is not involved. They did a really good job when we were in the middle of trying to figure out what all this is. And so, yeah, I wore a mask there then the whole time. I don't know how it's going to go this year. I haven't been to a baseball game, but I know that there's no restrictions so far. But for football, I know that they announced full capacity next year. I don't know, or this year, and I don't know. I know certain teams are requiring vaccinations or negative COVID tests like within 72 hours to get in. But some teams, I don't think they have like required anything as of now. I was thinking the NFL should allow players to use the full plastic mask again in the face mask to prevent COVID. I personally feel like they should just follow all protocols from last year. Just do it, whether the vaccination or not. I mean, with the fans, the teams that did allow fans to follow the same protocols they did last year, and if they want to require a vaccination, that they have that power to do so. But I still think they should, if so this thing does an outbreak with 40,000 plus people in there, make people wear the masks. I think that's fine. There's a lot of people you don't know crammed in a spot right next to you, and so I understand either way how they want to handle that.
Now to Chris's comment right there, I know that they are having certain events where if you're all that they are requesting it's for vaccinated people, that they're doing those type of events for all vaccinated people to get together. I know there are some things that are doing that, whether it be music, what other form of entertainment, but I don't know if anything in the professional sporting has gone that way yet.
I don't think so. I know the New Orleans Saints did.
So they're requiring vaccinations for fans?
Vaccinations or a COVID test that within the 72 hours before the game that shows that you're negative.
Yeah. I just I really think that just going by last year's protocols would solve a lot of the dumb stuff.
Maria, we definitely appreciate and love all you guys so much. So thank you.
Yeah, what a breath of fresh air to have new friends, man. It really is.
I agree.
Not that my old friends are bad. Not that our
no. I like the collaboration of old and new.
Heck yeah, it's fun. I mean, I've actually been going through the Facebook page, the Facebook Live, just as much as I have been the YouTube Live, which is kind of cool today. Back to where we were at. I don't know that if you actually answered my question earlier on.
Yeah, shoot.
So, do you think that there is any cryptic message in Jim Irsay's message to Carson Wentz about, hey, take your time getting healthy? Or did you see the tweet?
I believe I saw the tweet. I got stuck on the memes when I said that, and so I just had to tell you about that meme because it was funny. But I just feel like, well, they have Sam Ehlinger taking first-team reps. And so, they also have Jacob Eason. They've taken a quarterback the last 2 drafts. So they've got Jacob Eason and then Sam Ehlinger from Texas, both of which in college were fairly successful, good options, I believe. And so I feel like at this point, we're going to really understand a little more during their 3 preseason games starting on Saturday of how those two guys do. And so if those guys are doing really well and we all get to see that, then I feel like they're like, Carson, take your time, like actually being serious, get healthy. We don't want you to get hurt again, but we're going to let these young guys try it out. These guys could be the face of our franchise in a few years. Or, it could be everyone knowing Carson Wentz is, we're going to bring Nick Foles in and win a Super Bowl. It could go either way.
Now, I remember that you were on top of this when the whole thing happened. But isn't there some performance clause in his contract this year? Doesn't he have to do certain? Is there
So
something?
he has to play more than 70% for them to give up a first-round draft pick. If he plays less than 70% of the season, it's going to be a second or third-round pick that the Colts lose.
So that's what that's about then, because if they can slip that to a second round pick and not be a first round pick and have a very high potential quarterback. I mean, he does have potential with the right coaching. He could go back to being a winner. I'm not saying that he can't, especially with the team he has around him. But maybe that's what that comment meant a little bit more than I just thought it was hey, you just take your time getting ready. That might be saying you better hurry up and get healed.
Yeah, like I said, it is kind of cryptic, but a lot of these comments coming out in the last couple days have seemed very cryptic. It could go either way. It could be a shot in the face to Carson Wentz. It could be a genuine statement, or it could be like, we do have these young guys in our corner who are taking first-team reps because he got hurt like day 2. So they've been there the whole time, healthy, practicing, and then maybe they're confident in them between the two of them. Because if you remember, last year, they were perfectly fine with the dual quarterback system. They would have Phillip Rivers take the ball down the field, and once they got to the red zone, bring Jacoby Brissett in. So they're perfectly fine with working with more than one guy on the field.
So I love throwing things out there at you really fast. What did you think today? Deshaun Watson having a little bit of angst over the media was a chink in his armor and showing some frustration on his part.
Oh, where he basically he was like, "Why are you recording me? It's the same every day."
Yeah,
I thought it was funny.
See,
and I feel like he has a right to be this frustrated at this point. Look, the court system and the organization, everybody else is dragging feet on everything except for him. He's like, I want to get this done. I want to get this over with. I want to get on with my life. I want to get out of Houston. And I'm pretty much stuck here until that stuff's figured out.
So, back to my earlier comment. Do you think that the media and the marketing strategist for Houston is allowing extra access to him to hopefully make him lose his cool? Or do you think that that's just something that they're doing on their own and Houston they're just not stopping it?
Well, the media likes to stick their nose in everything. Everybody wants to be the first to talk about something. That's what makes you good. The reporting and media industry is a very aggressive business. And so, it's all about who does what first. And so I don't think these people are going to stop riding him until it's all said and done. Like, it's going to be like this every time he shows his face. I know he he didn't come to practice for a couple days, but they did say, his ankle, it wasn't injury related. They said they wouldn't disclose it, but today they came out or yesterday and said it was injury related. And so, today he was out there full pads, throwing, doing drills and stuff. They have him listed on the roster as their 4th string quarterback. Yeah, Chris, the media is horrible, and being in that business, it's cutthroat, and they're going to do whatever they can. They're going to sit outside of these guys' houses trying to figure out what they're doing. They're worse than stalkers.
Are you planning on watching the Bengals and Bucks game Saturday night?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I can, of course. I don't know which games are going to be available to me due to the broadcasting thing. But I know there's like 4 or 5 games all day Saturday starting at like 1 o'clock.
We should be able to get the Bengals game for sure.
You should be able to. I get Chicago Network.
See, I normally get Indianapolis here. So, but I mean, if we're at work, we should be able to get it there for sure.
I mean, I won't be at work by 8 o'clock.
Me neither. I didn't even think about it that way, but yeah.
They feed off negativity. Yeah, I hate these reporters because like they'll see someone bending over to tie their shoes and then they're gonna make a whole story about something he didn't even do, and that's why all these athletes get so mad because one reporter says things and people piggyback off that, and all of a sudden him tying his shoes was him breaking into someone's car when all he did was bend down to tie his shoes, and so I understand his frustration and I respect him being able to show his face, work on what he's got to work on, and not be completely irate all the time. You know, he's been in talks with Nick Casario, their general manager or whatever, head coach. Like, he's still communicating with them, even though he doesn't want to. I feel like if this whole situation has shown anything, it's shown how mature he really can be.
Yeah, wholeheartedly. The other thing was that when you were talking about today's games, statistically wise, Mac Jones looked like he played pretty good for his first NFL snaps.
Yeah, I mean, he had very similar Cam Newton comparison between the two of them. Cam only had 2 drives, Mac had 4, and they both had about a 78 QBR. He threw like 13 of 19 or something like that for not 100 yards, but like still, I noticed that both of them do it, and I just feel like it's the system that they have. It is such a Tom Brady thing, is where they just want to dump it to the tight ends and running backs on the sides. They just want to go to the dump. But I did see Mac Jones make a perfect pass, like 40 yards in the air into the end zone. The receiver just didn't catch it. It landed in his hands. And I was actually impressed that he was throwing cannons like that. I mean, it was probably the only deep pass he attempted the whole time he played. But he played smart. He had his line collapsed on him from behind, and he stepped up in the pocket to make a throw. That is, having eyes in the back of your head is very crucial to being a quarterback, so you don't get killed. But I have to give props to Cam, Mac, Brian Poyer, or whatever the other guy's name is, because I don't care what anybody says. If you ask a Cowboys fan, obviously it's going to get skewed. But if you ask the rest of the world, everyone thinks Cowboys taking that division with ease. And I'm like, you guys are underestimating that Washington defense. If they can't figure it out on offense, they still got it going for them on defense. And it doesn't take much to win that division, and so they have the defense to easily win that division. And Chase Young took out Cam Newton the third play of the game. He was a monster. Like, that kid, he's Aaron Donald, but he's going to have a better career than Aaron Donald as long as he doesn't get hurt.
Gotcha. Hey, real fast, Bly, thank you. If that's for us, we appreciate that.
We do definitely appreciate that. These reporters is kind of, if not short, it's too much. Can they report the new one? Yeah, you said it perfectly. I wish they would just talk about what they do know and what's true.
Just state facts and stop putting your opinion and swing on everything. Thank you, Jellicana. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty well said. I agree with her. Things would be, but we wouldn't have website or shows like ESPN if we didn't have lies and skewed things.
Well, there's such a thing, but those shows are basically out there as opinion. Those talk shows are basically opinion. News is something totally different, and that's kind of when you listen to some of the idiots on ESPN, in which there's some idiots, they really stretch their opinions to way out there, and I'm getting confused with media. I mean, news media is just as bad as sports media. Only sports media is there to get it. Well, it's all the same thing, honestly.
It's all the same. Seriously, it's just I can't. I literally just I can't watch most of those sports shows anymore. I used to. But like I said, it took until this year for me to really dive deep into everything. And
Yeah,
so I just listened to them and went by what they said. And then I just realized how ridiculous they sound every time they go live.
and the other part of that is that it's a constant diet that we're being fed. If you don't read the actual report of what happened, a lot of times you're getting it through an opinion.
Yeah, I don't know, it just sucks.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, and I don't think you had any interest in the Pittsburgh game today. So did you catch
No,
any
I
of the
mean,
highlights?
I think Pittsburgh won. I can't remember, but I
They
think
did.
Pittsburgh won. Jalen Hurts started. Joe Flacco came in after him. Some guy named Quez Watkins or something came in after that. Never heard of him, but I heard he had a really good game. He threw for like 178 yards and a touchdown. And I mean, that's impressive. I think I still have the stats right here.
I just flipped over to it.
Yeah, I lost it.
Uh, Dwayne Haskins had the day for Pittsburgh. It looks like
Yeah, Mason Rudolph was not doing so good. I caught the beginnings of it, but let's see.
Flacco looks like he had a really good game.
Rob said, "BRB, more coffee." Yeah, Flacco, like I said, he looked good too. Like he didn't look like he was 36 or whatever, you know. News should and needs to be non-biased, but times have changed. Sports shows I watch, yes, their opinion seems to little facts. Yeah, basically. Medical, social, and psychological issues are a few things that media uses against us. That's true too.
And marketing.
And marketing, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, we were starting to sound philosophical.
It's frustrating. And we've seen multiple athletes in the last couple years strike back at these guys. And then they get fined. And he was like, and it happens mostly in the NBA more so than anywhere else. But I'm just going to use Kevin Durant because it happened 3 times last year that he took and came back right at the specific reporter who just told straight lies about him. And everyone thinks that he's a bad guy because he got upset that they lied about him on TV. He was like, that literally never happened, and he got mad, and they didn't apologize, nothing, and so he snapped. And then he snapped, and now he's the bad guy because you're spreading lies to millions of people on TV. And it's over dumb stuff, like tying his shoes. That's what I'm saying. It's literally over dumb stuff that they tell lies about, and these athletes get so upset about it. And they have every right to be upset about it.
Yeah.
It'd be the same if it was, your coworkers or your boss, in a different area. Like say I went to work and I was tying my shoes and my boss said I was stealing, like because I was bent over tying my shoes. See, it's the exact same thing. I would be irate if that happened.
Did you catch any of, or just to get any of the highlights up to the Field of Dreams game tonight in Major League Baseball?
I watched the pregame of it because it started the same time as a football game. I thought it was real awesome. They tried to do this last year, but it wasn't able to be done. I just love that they were hitting dingers out in the cornfields, and I don't know, something about it was like the heart of baseball.
Yeah, it was a really cool marketing idea. Glad they did it. Tim Anderson hit a walk-off home run to win the game. Anytime that the Yankees go down, I'm extra happy.
Yeah, so. I mean, I was pretty sold that the Yankees were going to win that game just because it was the Yankees, and it was like a memorial to baseball kind of game. Just like that's how things happen. But the cool thing about this game is it's a regular season counts towards their record game. Like it wasn't just like some scrimmage they're doing for fun. They had to play. They had to be serious about it. Treat it like any other game. And I do appreciate that.
Hey, I don't know where the standings lie right now. I know San Diego is like they've been slipping a little bit, but they're getting
well, when the Reds lose 4 games in a row, it doesn't really matter.
Well, they're getting beat today after a win today, so that will help the wild card.
Be right back. We eat our lunch. Let's eat, guys. See you later.
Copy. I
All
just
right,
ate lunch.
sounds good.
I ate midnight snack or whatever you want to call it before we started today.
I was eating some chips because I had a salad a couple hours ago, but trying to hold off to eat dinner after.
Yeah, well,
But
I guess if San Diego loses today, we'll just climb back to 3.5 behind. But at least we didn't fall any further when we lost those 3 games straight.
yeah, but we were a game and a half behind. Now we're
I
back
know.
to 4. It's just like we were right there. And then
Yeah.
for some reason, Atlanta just makes us out looking like a joke again.
Well, but the difference is that Atlanta's a good team. Good teams find a way to win. Atlanta's probably a playoff potential team. Whether they make it or not, that remains to be seen.
It's just,
But
I feel like they've got too many big names out with injury, and the fact that they're still being competitive is very respectable.
yeah, I just like saying her name, Angelica Anna. Thank you. Yeah, eat your lunch. I just like the name. I've never heard it before. I think it's cool.
I do enjoy her name. Happy lunch, you guys.
So that means that, man, it's midday over there, maybe a little after.
Yeah, it's almost midnight here.
Yeah, 14 and a half hours or 14 hours, I think is what they are in front of us. Must be, watching the American stuff must be different when you're over there because right now, what do you got? You got West Coast baseball. And I guess if they were to watch regular Major League Baseball, they'd be watching it at 7 o'clock in the morning. Ian, Ian, Relics and Stack Stones, Card Sharks. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Dude, I'm telling you, that mail pack that Ian sent today was off the hook. Best day ever. It was like Christmas. And he packed it so tight, I had to work to get everything out. It was like 20 minutes to open one box and get some stuff out. Fun as heck.
Fun as heck.
Heck. Hey, you know what? Are you ready for the baseball game coming up? How you feeling?
I mean, today was much needed. Like, not only did it end the losing streak, but we need to be winning games right now. And we had a really terrible lineup. Castellanos did not start. Moose did not start. And I thought there was some kind of mutual agreement that Moose started against the righties. And he didn't. And whatever. Not worried about it. The guys they did put in came to play. Kyle Farmer, Tyler Naquin, Jesse, my boy, hit his grand slam today. And that was amazing. And if anybody missed it, I posted a short. It's on our channel. He cranked it. It's only 8 seconds long because I didn't want YouTube to take it away from me. But you still can see it. And I was so excited. I couldn't watch it because I was at home. But I was like screaming in my house. Like, I was just like, I just kept screaming like, that's my boy. Like, that's my boy. I just love that man.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I turned on the game when I got home. It was a weird start time today. I turned it on and they were already scoring runs. And I was like, well, that's needed. So I was hoping that they would blow it open.
It was like their 18th game this year with 10 or more runs.
Yeah. Broke a club record.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, honestly, this has been despite what happens postseason, end of the year, whatever, this Reds team this year has done a lot of historical things as a whole. The sweeping all 4 divisions, getting 2 back-to-back on St. Louis, sweeping them at home in a 4-game series. They did a lot this year. And then not to mention Joey Votto passed Pete Rose yesterday in all-time RBIs. Now he is the 3rd highest Red in number of RBIs within one team or within their team. And, I think he surpassed his 2,000th hit mark today, or he's about to. That man alone has broken so many records. He tied up for the most number of games with a home run with the all-time. That man is doing the most incredible things since he came back from his broken thumb. He's playing his best baseball right now.
Yeah, and I still go back to that game earlier in the season when he was showing Tyler Stevenson, and you posted that short that was super popular, and you called him one of the greats of all time, and people were bashing it. And yeah, how does that make people look now? Honestly, especially the season he's having at 37 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. He's also I saw another stat today with the most number of home runs as a 37-year-old or something like that. And he's tied with the guy in second place, and he's still got 28 days left of being 20 or 37 years old. So he could bust that record open.
I've been doing that a lot this year. It's I told you so. When we say that he's a great baseball player, we don't say that without thinking about it. And he's had a great career, and he's having an even better end of his career. The last 3 years, he's just getting better. I can't wait to see what he pulls off.
I saw this post today, and someone said, I feel like Joey Votto is just gonna pull a Tom Brady and never stop playing.
He doesn't. He wants to play until he can't produce.
I mean, that is a pretty good, way to end it. If I can't do it as good as I want to, then I'm not gonna do it. I feel like that's fair. Alex, who's your favorite baseball player? Jesse Winker. He hit a grand slam today. The left field player, lefty for the Reds. He's my boy. And I think that was his first career grand slam. Second. It was his second. Either way, it was his first one this year. And, oh, man, he's getting hot again. He started declining for a little bit, but he's getting hot again right at the right time.
Baseball players, that happens, though. You go up and down.
I mean, he's really stepped up big with Nick being away also. He's had, so many extra base hits this year. He's done a lot, or at least since the All-Star game. He was, on a 8-game streak with an extra base hit, at least one. And, he's just doing incredible things. And he's still pretty young. We still have him on a rookie contract. He could be if he stays and he keeps producing, he could be what everyone sees Joey Votto is now in 10 years.
So, do you think the Reds should do with him that they did with Votto? Give him the long-term contract extended now before he goes through arbitration, and go ahead and just lock him down for a set amount of money and protect that asset?
Yes, I think so. 100%. If he leaves that team, my soul will be broken.
I've said that a lot about baseball players, but I agree. We were talking about this today at work, and right now, if you was to long-term sign him for a 10, 8, whatever, a long-term contract, you can do him like they did with Fernando Tatis. Lock him down for a long time.
Yeah, but they picked 15 years or something for Tatis.
Well, and a lot of teams do that. Do you know that there's 2 Cincinnati Reds that are retired that are still receiving over $3 million a year?
Oh, it's like that Mets guy.
Ken Griffey Jr. is still getting paid over $3 million a year, and he's 51 years old because he extended his contract to the end of his to after he retired. So they're still paying him. That's how they structured his contract.
Yeah, it's like that Mets guy it's like a national holiday that day. Every year the same day.
But yeah, I was it was just seeing that and how creative teams can get with money, because I was looking that's something I've been doing a little bit lately to understand more on how some of these contracts and some of the professional sports are structured, how they actually pay people when they renegotiate in the middle, how that money gets shifted around. and it's sneaky accounting is what it really boils down to on a lot of it.
I mean, whoever these guys have as their manager and makes those decisions for them, I need them in my corner.
Hey, I tell you what, if I had my choice of an agent in the NFL, it would be Kirk Cousins' agent because
Me too. They gave him way too much money.
And his contract's fully guaranteed.
Yeah, they gave him way too much money for like 5 years, and you don't deserve none of it.
Fully guaranteed contract. That's the guy's contract you want.
Nah, I want that Mets guy's contract.
Just get paid forever.
Forever. At least like $1 million a year forever. Jesse Winker's kind of hot. He's my boy, dude. I don't even care. He could be the ugliest guy in the world, and I will love him more than I will love any other baseball player for the rest of my life. I think it's because he has such a personality that's so likable as well. Like, he's still a kid at heart. And, like, are you muted?
Me? No.
Oh, well, if you said something, I didn't.
I did. I said something. I was covering my mouth when I said it to myself. You mentioned that Mets players with deferred salaries, that there was somebody that you knew that was still getting paid. Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah,
he's still getting paid $1.1 million a year. And Brett Saberhagen, a relief pitcher from the 80s, is still getting paid $250,000 a year.
Yeah, I was talking about the Bobby guy. It's like a holiday. Every day, every year on that day, everyone makes a big thing about how it's his payday.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Have you ever been on Sport Track and looked at payroll?
I did one time when I was trying to figure out the Reds payroll, like as a whole, because I was talking about it with a group of guys at work. We were trying to remember how much, and so we went on there and looked at it.
Yeah, if you have any questions about payroll, it definitely updates. It shows you how they get paid, and in Major League Baseball, it shows you how many waiver options they have to minor leagues if they're young guys. It's really cool. Website is a really good resource.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool that all of that is able to be like accessed and stuff. Not that we need to know how much money they're making, but
well, sometimes
Derek Jeter and A-Rod fan here. I mean, they're two greats, so I completely understand.
You can't find many shortstops better than either one of those guys.
Yeah.
And A-Rod played a long time.
A-Rod, he could hit a ball, man.
You get me looking at something, and then I go back and I see it again, and then did the Reds release Brad Brock?
Well, they dropped him down.
Yeah, the Mets signed him.
Oh, then I guess so. Well, they can have him. I didn't really like him.
Yeah, I was surprised.
He made me mad.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I was really just
mad.
I was just surprised to see, him already signed to another team. He just got released. So
I just remember, like, in 2007 on the Xbox 360 when the Bigs, like the OG game, the Bigs came out. I just always used either A-Rod or Derek Jeter for the home run derby. Like, usually it was A-Rod because he has the same first name as me. But, like, seriously, I used him, and then I used Albert Pujols, and then I always used Coco Crisp because I couldn't believe that guy's name was that. And I'll never let that go. But, yeah, A-Rod was, like, my home run hitter person for that game in 2007.
So, headed into Philadelphia, how do you feel about that series this week?
Well, the series is really crucial for Philadelphia. Like, obviously, every game is important to us, especially with the Brewers having such an easy schedule right now. They literally beat the Cubs like 16-1 today. But, like, well, yeah, I like King Griffey too, obviously. But, I mean, for the most production, like, I had to use A-Rod because literally people get really competitive with that, and I'm not getting beat by my cousins because I picked someone else. I'm not saying that King Griffey's not talented. I personally would choose him over A-Rod, but I wanted to win, and I knew how to win with him. That game was freaking awesome, though. You go into, like, Times Square, and you have to, like, hit everything. If you hit the ball, you get, like, was I on track, like, the sport? Or, like, was I on track to do something? Like, you mean, like, the team? Because I think that's what you're asking, but I don't remember. Or I don't know. Sport. Yeah, for like 2 years. When I was in the 8th grade, I was playing summer league soccer, and I really messed up my knee. And then I went and had surgery, and I missed my freshman year of soccer. And so I ran track that following year. And like halfway through the season, I dislocated my knee again, the same knee. And I was like, no. And so I quit. And then I came back the next year, and they kept making me run the 2 mile. And I can do short distances. Like I'm Tyreek Hill. I can do short distances, but you want to make me run 2 miles, and it's going to take me half an hour. And so I ended up quitting halfway through that too, and because I couldn't do it. And that's what it was. I remember. Meow. Yeah. I was going to say, because I feel like that's how I met you, because I ran track with Sydney and Taylor. And that's how I met Morgan Chapel, too.
God, that feels like so long ago.
I mean, it was so long ago. It was like 10 years ago. My knee feels it every day. Loved long distance. See, I like the idea of long distance, but I just can't do it. Like, I used to be able to run a mile in like right at 6 minutes, which is impressive. But they didn't ever want me to run the 1 mile. They wanted me to run the 2 mile. Look, I could run the 1 mile in 6 minutes one time. That's it, you know? Like, it would take me a week to recover from that to be able to do it again. And so if you wanted me to run like a 40-meter dash, I could have probably done that over and over again and been fine. But, you know, running more than a mile, it's just, I die quickly in the inside. You're just a young pup. Wait to see how your knees feel at my age. Oh, I'm dreading that because my knees are horrible now. They're so bad now that I don't even want to get any older because I don't want it to be any worse than it is.
Yeah, Rob, her knees have taken a beating over the years, and they are not. My knees are in probably better shape than hers.
Yep. What? Oh, well.
It's what it is, right?
I'll probably end up getting new ones.
Getting new ones.
I mean, probably. Oh, yeah, Shelby, she's got some pretty bad knees, too. That, and you're shorter than all the super tall runners, too. Yeah, see, I feel like me being short is the only time I have a height advantage. And if I were to have run sprints, yeah, they have a greater, like, leg spin or whatever it's called. But mine can move twice as fast. So it kind of balances out. And I don't know. My coach just hated me. So he hated me until I graduated. Now we're cool.
Yeah, Rob, I'm going to guarantee that before, when she says she's going to have a new knee, at some point she's going to have at least one of those two knees replaced.
If not both, because I think my other knee's taking a lot of wear and tear because of this one. And so I'm holding off as much as I can. But I remember my doctor warned me when I was like 14. He was like, it's probably going to happen. He said like 22 though, and you know what? I made it to 25, and I still got my same knees. So I'm doing all right. Yeah, Shelby had to leave the military because her knees were so bad. It's just a bad knee time.
So back to this weekend series with Philadelphia. We got.
Oh yeah. I kind of got off track, but yeah, I think this is a really important series for both teams. You know, the Phillies snuck up on the Mets. I don't think they saw them coming. And so they want to keep pushing forward, so they're going to do what it takes to win. I feel like we're going to be okay. But I thought that going into Atlanta. But I feel like Atlanta's just different. We just last year proved we can't do nothing until today, obviously. But I think the reason that today happened is because after the Braves beat the Reds last night, their mascot came out with a sign that said spaghetti doesn't belong on chili. And I think they just pissed them all off. And so they just went crazy today. Had some batting practice. They were trying to take, everyone was trying to hit moonshots. And that's their fault for messing with chili and noodles. And you see what happens when you start talking about Skyline around people from Cincinnati. Bad things happen. I'm just saying, it happened. Last night, they beat them pretty bad. The mascot comes out with this, there's a picture of it. He has a giant sign. And he says, spaghetti doesn't belong on chili. And then all these Cincinnati groups were like, they went too far. And then they come out and beat them by like 12 runs today. You don't mess with their Skyline, dude.
Let's see.
Gotta say, the layout of your stream is really nice, very professional. I really appreciate you saying that, honestly. We try our best.
Yeah, I put a lot of effort into just getting set up. I have a question for Chris is that I did have something that I was trying to piddle around with my other channel, and what software does he use to broadcast his video gaming?
Facebook Live, probably.
Is he broadcasting from Facebook Live?
I don't know. He's in the chat.
Oh, I thought he was, because he's right there.
Yeah, he's in the chat. That's what I'm saying. Don't ask me. I don't know.
Oh, I was asking him, but
I use Streamlabs via Facebook Live. Yeah, see, I knew it had been connected, but that's the same way that this is connected to Facebook and YouTube that we use.
But yeah, ours is StreamYard, so.
There's a Skyline in Clearwater? What? How? I saw one in Louisville, Kentucky, and I was just baffled to find one that far away from Ohio. But I am, Shelby is not. She'll eat it if I asked her to, but she's a Gold Star fan. I do like Skyline. I just had a very bad experience with Gold Star at a young age, and I haven't recovered from that. Don't you remember? So, okay, maybe we saw it. My memory is bad. I don't know. Franchise get everywhere. Streamlabs is free, but I use Streamlabs Prime. Definitely worth it.
Yeah, I haven't. I've downloaded Streamlabs, but I never really played with it much because we use the guest format for StreamYard, and it's so user friendly and works out really well with all Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Periscope. So it works out really nice. So that's why we did that. But I was just curious because I wanted to piddle around with video gaming, and I wanted a good way to do it. And that sounds like a win.
What happened at Gold Star? Okay, well, I'm a female. So naturally, the being dramatic thing runs in the genes. And so my favorite food is spaghetti. And when I was younger, my mom was married to a truck driver. And we were on the road. We stopped. And I just remember them telling me, I was little, so I did not know that there was a difference between like eating spaghetti and then like spaghetti. So when they say spaghetti on chili, they just meant the noodles. I thought they meant like the pasta, the sauce, the meat, like all of that, and you just put it on top of chili. And I didn't think that was okay. And so I ate it because I was hungry. And even though I was looking right at it, I couldn't tell the difference because I was young and stupid. And I was like, all I remember is it tasted horrible. And I think it only tasted horrible because I put it in my head that it was not okay. And then when I got older, I realized that when they said chili and spaghetti, they just meant the noodles. So it's really stupid, and I was being really dramatic. But I just can't make myself eat it ever since then. Hey, Dawn. Getting off early to head back home. Okay, well, hopefully you have a safe trip home. And thanks for hanging out with us as always. We appreciate you being here. I have no idea where my dad just went, but he also appreciates you. Started out on OBS, then switched. Yeah, I've played around on OBS. I got the StreamYard linked in with my OBS. I just haven't spent enough time playing around with it. Gotta head out off to eat. Alrighty. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, Chris, and I will talk to you later. Always here to support. We appreciate you. It means a lot. Good night, Dawn.
Ooh, I was getting thirsty.
I hear ya. I got my Bucky's koozie and my drink. Cheers, my dude.
So where are we going to next? What's up?
When was the NFL preseason start? So last week they did a Hall of Fame game where they inducted like last year's class into the Hall of Fame, and they picked the two teams who needed the most help. So they picked the Steelers and the Cowboys to play a preseason game and call it the Hall of Fame game. But the first actual preseason games, there was two of them, and they were today. Well, I guess if you're in the Philippines, was technically last night or this morning early. But yeah, it was the Steelers played the Eagles and the Patriots played the Washington football team. And they just ended like 45 minutes ago, an hour ago. Well, it ended right when we started, so we started about an hour ago. He's chugging power drinks, and I'm sipping coffee.
So, well, body
It's not
armor.
an energy drink, it's a power drink. He didn't say energy.
This is my favorite, though. Rob, I drank this when we were detecting that day. The Body Armor Edge with caffeine.
I think Shelby's cooking.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to cook dinner. I had to eat a sandwich tonight.
I can't believe Washington's had a year and hasn't picked a freaking team name yet. I'm going to be real honest with you. The name Washington football team's really grown on me. I heard rumors that people were going to do that like across all teams. And no, I don't want it to be all teams. But for Washington, I've started to like it. And look, I'm glad they're taking their times because it couldn't be as bad as what Cleveland decided on. You know, like the Cleveland Indians baseball team. They changed their name and it'll go into effect next year. It's the dumbest. They should have waited. They should have took more time, you know. I'm perfectly okay with being the Washington football team. Also, speaking of, I don't know how much you follow you're a moderator, so you can post things on there on the Facebook page. But I don't know if you look at any of the things that I post through the It's in the Blood page, Dad. But Alex Smith is going to be an NFL analyst this year, and I'm really excited. I feel like he's going to be one of the best analysts we have. Because that man, first of all, he knows all about it. He knows way too much all about it, and he's a really good quarterback that, you know, his career kind of got ended early. He did play last year, and this talking about Washington made me think of it. But if he had not got murdered, he would have probably played all through those years. And so I'm happy that he is going to be an analyst this year, but I'm hoping inevitably he ends up on the KC coaching staff, even if it just be like a quarterback coach or something.
I love Tony Romo as an analyst. I think former quarterbacks make great choices in that
Yeah,
aspect.
I think I appreciate Tony Romo even more now. I did not like him while I watched him on TV, like playing football. But now that he is basically telling me the game as it happens, I love it. And I'm happy to have him. I've never appreciated Tony Romo more than I do now. I used to make really bad jokes about him because I just didn't like him. And you know, when you play for the Dallas Cowboys, it's hard to win my heart anyway.
Yeah, that goes to show you how bad of a team they had around him when he quarterbacked there, because he obviously knew the game better than probably most of the coaches, because he can predict what other coaches are going to do. I'm surprised he hasn't been offered a coaching job based on his analyst.
I mean, have you ever listened to him when he does games that Brady's playing? He will tell you every single thing Brady is about to do. And I know that I could have named any quarterback, but I mean it specifically when I say Brady.
Oh yeah,
Brady's one of the few quarterbacks he ever played with. And so it's a little different. But he can pinpoint, based on the way he twitches his hand or makes what he says. He's like, yeah, he sees the defense right now. Watch, Brady's about to call an audible. And then he watches Brady call an audible. He goes, right there. He just did it. And I'm just like, he doesn't do that for every quarterback. He does that every time he's doing Brady's games. And it's weird. It freaks me out. But he knows every mannerism that man has to a T, where he can tell you everything that's going on in his head and in that moment for him on the field.
yes,
It's so talented. It's incredible because he's never wrong when he's doing Brady.
I can't. Yeah, it's having the
They
right
paid
announcer.
attention to it this year during a Buccaneers game.
Having the right announcer makes it a lot better to watch football. You
Oh
know,
yeah, I feel like Tony Romo's taught me so much.
yeah, you feel like you could coach the game after listening to him analyze the game.
Yeah, I feel like Tony Romo's taught me so much now that he's not playing football anymore. Because I just, I treat Tony Romo like I treat Brady now. Like, it's just like, I don't care because I don't like you. And, like, I don't want to be that way, but that's how it was, I just couldn't respect a Dallas Cowboys fan when I was growing up to save my life. Now I just judge you. I can respect you, but I still judge you. It's like people who walk around in Pittsburgh Steelers gear. Like, I'm judging you.
But I'm ready for Saturday. I'm really ready to watch the Bengals and the Bucks play.
Do we have any games tomorrow? Because I know the Chiefs play on Saturday, and Andy Reid said for at least the first quarter, all of his starters are playing, and I did not expect that.
That's nutty.
Yeah.
Would you like it? Would you like me to read off tomorrow's games for you?
Yes, I would.
Tennessee is at Atlanta. Buffalo is at Detroit.
Mm.
Dallas is at Arizona.
That'll be a good one.
Miami and Chicago.
That's the one I was looking forward to. I just didn't know what day
that's
it was.
Saturday. That's the first game on Saturday. I'm sorry. So there's those three games are on Friday, and then Saturday we have
Kansas City. You have the Tampa Bay Bengals game. I think who does Kansas City play? Minnesota? No, they play the 49ers.
They play the 49ers at 8:30.
Yeah, the 49ers. I think Minnesota plays on Saturday too.
Yes, there's a lot of night games on Saturday. Wow, I kind of am interested in just to see what the Sunday game looks like, because there's only one game, and that's Carolina and Indy.
I know that Carolina's favored to win.
Jets and Giants play Saturday.
Yeah.
That's going to be a battle of mediocrity.
I'll only watch to see Zach Wilson. See,
Houston.
that's why I was curious about today. I wanted to see Mac Jones. I don't like him, but I wanted to see him.
Houston is at Green Bay.
Wow.
Seattle at Las Vegas. Don't care. Oh, the Chargers at the Rams.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be the first time they have fans in that stadium, and it's both home teams playing.
Way cool.
That's pretty cool, and that's where they're having the Super Bowl this year.
Patriots fans give Mac Jones huge ovation.
Oh yeah, when he came in on their third drive, that whole stadium was so loud you couldn't hear the report or the announcers. When he started doing that funny little run he does out on the field, it was so loud. They were like, "Well, you think they love Mac Jones?" And it's just like screaming. Like I was like, "Well, you ever want to give a kid confidence? That's the way to do it."
Going back to football, do you think Urban Meyer's statement about Trevor Lawrence competing with Gardner Minshew for the starting job, what do you think that meant?
I think it's the same thing about how we wanted to dive into Jim Irsay to Carson Wentz cryptic message. I think this could go one of two ways. One, they're assuming that Trevor Lawrence is a starter, and Urban Meyer wants to prove that not everything's about him, and he still sees something in Gardner Minshew. And also that saying that, invokes competition, and they want to see which guy shows out better, knowing that their job's on the line.
We both know that Urban Meyer can coach, and the fact that he puts that statement out there tells me that he has got what it takes to be an NFL coach. Because guess what? If Trevor Lawrence thinks that it's not going to be a competition for that job, I think he's sorely mistaken. If he thinks he's just going to have it because he's the number one pick, I think he's wrong. And I think Gardner Minshew can provide an adequate challenge for that position.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't hurt his thumb again. But look, like the thing is Trevor Lawrence is all ego. Yeah, wait until he takes one big hit by a defensive lineman. Do you think that offensive line is perfect? No. He thought he was running around a lot in Clemson.
But see, now back to our little conversation about the media. The media is trying to play out that it seems ludicrous that Trevor Lawrence may not start week 1.
Yeah, of course they'll say that, but I don't think it's important that your rookie quarterback plays any in his first year. I don't think that's important. Preseason, 100%. That's where they get their first reps in. Because at the end of the day, you can't sit every single one of your starters on your defense because there's not enough depth chart to have that many people. So, even if you're in preseason, you're playing against most of the starters as a quarterback. So, it's still real experience. Preseason is important. But I just feel like, the media is going to treat this whole Trevor Lawrence that way. I keep seeing memes, but it's so true. It's like if Trevor Lawrence throws a touchdown pass to Tim Tebow, stay off of ESPN for a week. Yeah, that's facts. Don't even turn it on. Don't waste your time unless you want to hear about it over and over and over again.
Yeah,
it was the same hype surrounding Joe Burrow, except for the fact of the matter is Joe Burrow had to come to Zach Taylor in Cincinnati, who's never been in the spotlight in the last 15 years. So, like, him going to Jacksonville, same thing. Not a big city, not a big team right now, but Urban Meyer came with him. So there's added hype. And then now there's Tim Tebow, so that's even more added hype. So, anything that happens in that organization with any of those three guys, that's all we're going to hear about. And there's going to be controversy about all of it.
I'm sitting there, and we just started discussing this today, but last season was a great example of before Joe Burrow even took a snap, they were trying to convince him to not, even before he was drafted, the media was trying to convince everybody that he might opt out and not even play in Cincinnati. Remember that?
I remember 100%. First round, first overall, everything you're going to hear every side to the same story, but it's going to be completely off the wall things, and then it's going to be a little bit of real, and then a little bit more off the wall until you don't know what's going on. The media had me convinced that they might just not even pick up Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to believe that, but then I know how stupid Cincinnati can be. So that's why I bought into it for a little bit. But then I was like, we got closer to draft day, and I was like, there is no possible way that they remain an organization if they do not take Joe Burrow. And so I almost said the same thing about Penei Sewell, though. So if Joe Burrow gets hurt this year and they didn't draft Sewell, they are in world of hurt.
Yeah, I think Joe Burrow will take some flack over that for begging or for.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you can't go after him about that because it was ultimately up to the guy who makes the decision of the pick. If you are going to let your rookie tell you what to do, that is on you.
Yeah, you're right.
Either way, Joe Burrow will not get anything if he gets hurt other than getting hurt. Yeah, he'll be like, well, I want to chase, so my bad. But, at the end of the day, this doesn't come backfire on him. He's going to hopefully get healthy and play again. This is going to backfire on Zach Taylor for allowing him to make those decisions.
That you're right. There's the potential for him not to be the coach next year. If they don't play well this year, I think
there's a potential he doesn't coach all the way through the season if they don't win games right away. I say if they are at least somewhat still in it by week 7 or 8, he could lose his job then. Or if Joe Burrow gets hurt before then. Then, if they're losing or if he gets hurt before week 8, Zach Taylor is not going to see week 9. Or there's a high possibility that he won't see week 9. But the one thing I'm really impressed with is the fact that Joe Burrow's deep ball is getting better. He struggled really hard with that last year. And so he had no confidence because either he overthrew it or his receivers aren't catching it. And so he did a lot of work in the offseason when he couldn't walk. He built his top half up, and he can throw at least 15, 20 yards further than he could throw last year. And now he's adding accuracy behind that. And you got, 3 sets of hands of good wide receivers. You've got 3 on the roster right now, decent tight ends, including Thaddeus Moss, who will make his debut this year. This, as long as their line holds up for just one more second longer than it did last year, Joe Burrow has so many options. They can't guard everyone.
Yeah, and something that we haven't even spoken about this year is how much of a setup do we have based on improvements to the line for Joe Mixon?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, the line's not perfect, but it's perfect compared to last year. In not sure how to word it way. It's perfect compared to last year. We got rid of a lot of bad.
Yeah, I think they've improved a lot of facets of the offense. And I still think Joe Mixon is due for his best season this year.
Agreed.
I'm super excited. God, I can't wait for regular. You know what? We're just getting started in preseason. I'm ready to go.
I mean, I'm ready to go too. I was kind of bummed having to even watch preseason, but it's so important to have this preseason that I'm not mad about it. I'm still watching football games. I saw some issues with referees today. I'm getting so good at this game that I can see the false starts, whether they get called or not. The really subtle ones that aren't Captain Obvious sees it, but the refs missed a couple. And then, I said it out loud. I was like, that's a false start. And then about 2 minutes later, the announcers bring it back. And they're like, yeah, look at that. I'm pretty sure he jumped. And I was like, I saw that. Like, I know. And I was like, I'm getting good at this game. And it's probably just like because I'm so sick of bad refereeing. And I'm not talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking about as a whole. It's just like watching baseball and getting mad at the umpires making terrible calls. It's the same thing. I promote all fairness across sports. And, I'm seeing these things and it's just like, it's frustrating. And I'm like, you got 3 weeks of preseason to fix this. I'm just letting you know. And maybe they were letting them play a little bit because it was preseason. But I feel like a false start when I can notice it needs to be called.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
I didn't see a single pass interference call, but I saw a lot of missed false starts. I also saw the defense get or the offense get called or the defense get called for holding when the wide receiver pushed off. He wasn't holding; he pushed off of him, and I was like, okay, well, you completely got that call backwards. That was an offensive penalty, and you called it on the defense. And I can know how those, like a holding, he didn't grab him, but the wide receiver pushed on him to get to the ball. Like that's a big difference. But I was like, whatever. It's the Patriots and Washington football team. It's not affecting me anyway. Also, Matthew Judon is tearing it up with the Patriots defense.
I can't remember a preseason where I was excited about what was going on, and there would be this much real drama before it even starts. I mean, drama isn't. Gosh, there's so much competition for jobs, more high profile jobs than we've ever seen. There's just so much going on with quarterback controversy and young guys that are playing well. Great drafts, teams working on getting better. Everybody looks like they've made improvements, with the exception of a few teams look like they kind of sunk a little bit. I've never been so excited for a season of football.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like everything is so great. It doesn't matter who I watch now. It's just like there's so much that I don't want to miss out on. So yeah, I get it. But I'm really curious to see how this Cam thing plays out. I know that he's named their starter, so we don't see as many reps from him. But like I'm really curious to watch him play a full game.
Yeah.
I don't like Shelby was like, I hope Mac Jones does well. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to see anyone fail, but I don't like him, so it's really hard. But I want to see, and the thing is about him, it's not even that I don't like him. It's like I want to see Cam succeed so much that like I don't want to watch Mac Jones. Like I want to see Cam grow with the Patriots. And so
Patriots 11-6 this year.
10. I'll give him 10. I can't confidently say more than 10 yet.
And you know what? We say that, and it all depends on certain injuries, so we don't even know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, Well, the good thing about some of these teams, not all of them, like the Jets, they really fucked up, but like everyone else has depth in their quarterback room. So if someone does get hurt, they still have someone. Not the Jets, but everyone else.
Yeah, I mean the Jets are one team that that I guess they kind of improved, but they really didn't. I don't feel like they stayed the same in my mind.
I think the best thing that's ever happened to Sam Darnold's career is him going to Carolina. But the Jets, they improved everything except for the quarterback situation, which is going to be the reason they fail.
Well, I mean, we're pretty much we've pretty much figured out who the three worst teams in the league are. We figured that out last week.
Well,
That
Houston is going to be the worst this year unless Deshaun Watson decides to be a starter and comes out and tries 100%. But he's listed as their fourth string quarterback. That's not going to happen.
But do you think that listing's based on this court crap?
I mean, I think it's based on everything. The fact that he doesn't want to be there, but they don't want to take him off the roster, which is screwed up. But that they're not handling any of that well.
Today's society, based on accusations of for lack of a better term, sexual assault, to not want to get rid of him says what they think about him as a football player. Not necessarily a person, but they think he's that good of a football player to deal with that bullshit.
The thing is I told you a long time ago that I thought Houston was behind a lot of this. And if they weren't, they would have let him go. Oh, you have 12 accounts of accusations of sexual assault? We don't want you. Go. We don't want that problem. But no, they're fighting to keep him still. They don't even know if he'll be in jail in 6 months. They don't know what's gonna. That's why it keeps getting more fishy. Is the fact that anybody else that has an athlete that gets look at Trevor Bauer. They suspended him indefinitely. They said you're suspended until it's figured out. Deshaun Watson, they're begging him to play. And look, Trevor Bauer's situation is more likely to be true, whether it was, either way it happened. We all know it happened. We just don't know how bad it was or how much she's lying or he's lying, We know it happened. So, yeah, I get that they suspended him. They know it happened. That thing needs to figure itself out. But Deshaun Watson wasn't just one person. It was 24 at one point, and then 2 of them went away, and then there was another one. So 23 cases are all actively against him right now, and they're like, we want you to play football for us. Any other team, if that happened, that player would be removed from that roster, would have been blacklisted from that team. It just seems fishy.
Wholeheartedly.
There's no way. Maybe some of the accusations are true. Maybe it's not all of them. I don't know. I don't know. But I can't believe that all of them are. And I think the ones that aren't true, it's something that was behind Houston's doing.
Yeah, I just got to feel that there's probably some partial truth to everything, but the word consensual and stuff like that comes into play big time. And you know what? Fangirls thinking that they're going to get something that they're not, and then get angry when they don't get what they think they deserve. There's some of that in there too. Like I said, we apologize now if I'm wrong, for sure. But yeah, I think it's just like everything. You only get a partial truth, and that's what we probably heard.
I heard a very interesting theory about the Trevor Bauer one, though. That had to do with San Diego.
Really?
So, I'll tell you if you want to hear it. This is kind of crazy. And, it makes a lot of sense. So, who's the star of San Diego?
Fernando Tatis?
Who is probably the youngest star? Fernando Tatis. He's very young. He's younger than I am. So, this woman, the actual woman who the stuff with Trevor Bauer, was sleeping with him before this happened. And with some other guys in the Padres roster. She was sleeping with a bunch of them. And it was right after Tatis hit that first pitch home run on Trevor Bauer. And then a bunch of stuff happened, and he got disciplined for it. And so, this timeline matched up perfectly. So the theory is is he and these guys from San Diego paid this woman to say what she said and go sleep with him because they knew she would because she slept with all of them. Like this actually happened. She 100% slept with these guys, most of the Padres team. But the whole theory behind it was that she got paid off by them to take him out because they were in a tight-knit race for their wild card spot. How crazy is that?
It just tells me that.
But I believed it because Tatis is young and full of himself and wants to be the best. And the Dodgers are the only thing really, the Giants, yes. But the Giants, they can't beat out. But the Dodgers are the only thing holding the Padres back. And it's been like that all season. And this happened all around that time. Like, that's crazy. I read this whole story about it. And I was like, if that's true, that's even more messed up than if he just did what she said he did. Choked her out and beat the crap out of her. Like, that's messed up. But if they paid her to go through all of that, that's more messed up than what he did.
I think I should just watch the game and not even think about some of the other stuff.
Well, I was watching card videos on TikTok, and that's how I got to that. I didn't mean to find that. I slipped into it. And then I went and researched it to make sure it was true. And it's true. I mean, the woman's sexual history is true.
God dang. I just can't.
What is wrong with people? Seriously.
Evidently a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but like, I don't know, man. It's just messed up to me.
So, any other thing you're looking forward to on the rest of this week for your football?
Oh, just football. I'm excited for it all. Every playoff or preseason game, there's a lot of young people, like in the 49ers. I'm curious to see how that Trey Sermon running back does, and I'm excited to see Trey Lance in the preseason. I'm excited to see Zach Wilson if he can utilize any of that offense they built for him. I'm excited to see Trevor Lawrence and freaking Tim Tebow, dude. Like, I'm excited to see Travis Etienne, Justin Fields. That game, the Tua versus Justin Fields. Like, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see the depth in the quarterback room in Miami. There's a lot of answers that we're going to get with these preseason games that I'm ready to find out because I don't know who's in Miami other than Tua. They got rid of Fitzmagic. I do have a TikTok for the YouTube channel. It's in the blood. I'll post it. It's in the blood, no space. And I usually post baseball highlights. There'll be more football stuff coming. But right now it's just baseball. I posted one today of DeWink hitting the grand slammy because it was just a feel-good moment for me. Even if those were the only runs scored in the game, that's all that mattered to me and how good it made me feel. But yeah, like there's so many questions that this preseason, these 3 weeks of preseason is really going to answer for me. I mean, we're not going to know week 1 until week 1 who's starting with who. We do have our card channel. Shelby, if you want to post the link to the YouTube and then on TikTok, we also have our card videos under Card Sharks on TikTok. What let me go to. I'll just do it real quick, Shelby. Don't worry. But yeah, there's just like I said, there's just so many questions. I'm so curious about a lot of things, and I like these next 3 weeks are gonna answer most of my questions, most of my curiosities, what I'm interested in finding out about. how some of the, another person I'm excited to watch in the preseason. I mean, I'm excited to watch anyway, but in the preseason as a first look is Kyle Pitts.
Oh,
That is my, other than Jamar Chase because he's with the Bengals. Um, uh, obviously I'm going to pay attention to him with Joe Burrow, but like Kyle Pitts is the most intriguing position player that I'm ready to see. I'm kind of curious to see like guys like Patrick Surtain with Denver, how he matches up against Patrick Mahomes, like guys like that. And some of these guys that are requesting trades and whatever, I'm, ready to see what happens with them. And I don't know, there's just so many questions that I need answers to because I just think about it all the time. Here is the Card Sharks YouTube channel. We are only 3 subscribers away from 50 on the Card Sharks. Shelby runs that channel, but we're pushing really hard to get that one up to speed. So if anybody still here wants to check that out, I would love for you guys to do so if you can subscribe to that. Have you noticed Lorenzen's right arm? What about his right arm?
how muscular it is.
Yeah, I mean, Lorenzen can play every position. He's amazing.
He is definitely a specimen.
Oh yeah, I am so happy he's in the roster. He missed over half of the season already, and so him being back, it's very nice. I'm trying to see. Also, Kawhi, even under the MCL, ACL, signed a 4-year extension with the Clippers today. Did you see Luka's contract?
I did.
I feel like we talked about it, but my memory is kind of
We
awful.
barely talked about it. We mentioned that it happened, and we went on.
It's like the the highest rookie extension contract that's ever happened in the NBA.
Well worth it.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you can lock that guy up, because he would have been fine. I think he likes being there, but he would be fine with leaving as well. So I think it was good they did that. And Darius Leonard in Indy, they got his contract, which was very important to do before the season started, I think. Because that man has one more good season and no one's that in the organization is not going to be able to afford him. What sports do you really want to play when you were still young? I played soccer. I played soccer basically my whole life as I was in school. If I were a guy, I would have played football. Um, I liked all the other sports, but I didn't socially get I didn't really fit in with that crowd, so I didn't really want to make friends with that crowd. I was really good friends with all the people on the soccer team, and we got along well. I didn't really feel like I needed to put that energy into all these other people as well, and so Luka deserves that money. Yeah, he does deserve that money. That kid is amazing at what he does, and he's making me enjoy basketball again. Him alone. And Chris Paul, of course, but
The fact that Chris Paul wanted to be a free agent kind of bummed me out.
no, you know what he did? He declined his player option and then signed a 4-year contract with the Suns.
Oh, he did. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that it went that route. I knew that he declined it, and I thought he went free agent. Oh, that's
he did
even better.
for like one day. He was a free agent for one day and then signed a 4-year contract with the Suns.
I never saw anything after that. And and speaking about sports, when I was a kid, that's all we had was sports. So my youth was baseball, cross country, tennis, basketball, nonstop every year.
Trey and Luca are making money. Trey Young, he just needs an ounce more of maturity. Like he's almost there. He just needs just a little bit more maturity. But that kid, he's gonna tear it up in the league for a long time. He's just getting better every day he plays. And then, Luca, I think the same way. I think he's just got a little bit of anger management he needs to get under control, which I think is still the same like with Trey Young. It's maturity. The older they get, the more mature they get. And if they can, sustain a level of play and keep their head right, they'll be unstoppable.
So we're closing in on where we normally end up at the end of the day. What do you think? Do a little forecasting here. What do you think we will be talking about on Monday? What do you think will be on our radar Monday?
Well, the Reds will be back home by then, so definitely that. Depending on how this Philly series goes, 3 games, we need 2 of them at least. We can't settle for less than 2 of them. And we're gonna see a lot of rookies start playing this weekend, and with that is going to bring me, just like I could sit here and have talked to you about Mac Jones for an hour today. But we're going to see all of them being played mostly. And so we're going to have a lot of rookies to have a fresh set of eyes on, to see their first touches in the NFL. And so I just feel like that's just thinking about that. It brings me a lot of excitement because I'm ready to talk about Trey Lance. I'm ready to talk about Justin Fields. I'm ready to talk about Tua's troubles in Miami. I'm ready to talk about what this Arizona Cardinals organization could be this year. I'm ready to talk about how I think Trevor Lawrence will be a bust. Zach Wilson. We'll get that first look, which is really important to that organization, that goes well. But we're going to get to see a lot of names that we've been waiting months to see.
Well, I'm gonna pick out some football and be pretty analytical over something. I'm really just looking at rookies, getting their feet wet, how they look.
Well, we've seen most of the other players, unless it's a quarterback that switched teams. We've seen them all. It's all about the rookies, and then Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Tua going into year 2. Sophomores and rookies are really the highlight of all of this. Because some sophomores didn't play. And so this will be their first time.
Your whole San Diego and Cincinnati, Los Angeles and Cincinnati, Burrow and Herbert, they're both pretty much going to be on the same playing field this year because I'd say Herbert got the experience that he needed last year to catch up to Burrow. So they're both going to be pretty even. I have a feeling that they're going to really compete this year. They may not compete on the level that Mahomes is going to compete, but I bet you they're touching close.
I mean, yeah, with the help of Fitzmagic, Tua is where Burrow and Herbert are going to be this year. The team record, the 10 wins area, right either in the playoffs or right outside the playoffs. That's where Herbert and Burrow are at. I'm so excited that you're excited for the NFL too because literally I'm so fired up. I'm so ready to go. I could do this all day, every day, NFL 24/7, and it makes me happy that our Philippine people are into the NFL as well, because there's going to be a lot of it coming from us from now until February.
Yeah, it gives you and every time you get a comment, you get a reason to say, Jellica Anna.
Jellica Anna. Also, since they're in here, I was thinking that maybe we can change our start time on Monday for maybe another hour back or so.
What time?
On Mondays.
5 or 7?
Back.
Okay.
Forward. I was going to say, because I know that'll put it the 2-hour mark, you'll be able to get off and go to your video. But it'll push us back and, they'll be able to join us as well, because I feel like where we were at was not a really good time.
All right, well, and you know what? That's fine.
Well, I mean, we could still go at 6. I'm fine with that, but I was thinking about it the other day.
I would rather go whenever it's most appropriate. I just have to stop before 9.
Yeah. I think LeBron James was excited too. I saw his post. Everybody should be excited about football. Football is the happiest time of the year. And I'm freaking, oh man, I'm so excited. Seriously, I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun.
Well, and once again today, since we're winding down, thanks to all our Facebook friends for the shares and promoting us through their community. It's been kind of cool seeing everybody come in and out, and had a couple conversations with you guys. You guys are all knowledgeable and sweet, and we love you. I really can say that. It's great having you guys in here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Special shout out to Chris, Samurai Beige, and his Samurai Beige clan. You guys are all so awesome.
But it's been a pretty good night. No, you're welcome. I saw somebody in there. I wonder, is that one of her? Her name is Glay?
Also, to Robert. I figured you were sleeping.
Yeah, Rob, thank you for coming over for a little while tonight, and thank you for helping me out on my stream earlier, jumping in and made the last 30 minutes go super fast. I was really very thankful for the wins. Heck yeah. Everybody, Monday night, 6 to probably 8 will probably be here this week. And that is, I don't know what your guys' time is. I don't know how many hours ahead of us you are, but I'm sure Alex will post it up there when we hit. And then next Thursday we'll be back in here at this time, which has been our good time. And we hope to see you all back and bring some content if you want to have some conversation. And when you see that link pop up, go ahead and share it early. Maybe we'll get a nice big crowd in here and we can have a great big conversation. But we want to thank you all for being here.
Yep. Well, yeah, so we'll be back Monday, which might be Tuesday.
It'll be right at Tuesday morning for them sometime.
Yeah, so we'll be in then, and then every Thursday or I guess Friday morning for you guys, or Friday afternoon, we're live at the same time every time. But yes, we love all of the Philippines followers. You guys are awesome. And I'm glad you had a good time, because we have a good time hanging out with you.
Anytime you want to be interactive, we're always around too. I mean, we do other stuff. Just come in and check it out. We've all shared the links out there, and actually following some of you all now too as well. So we'll be able to see what's going on, and we appreciate it. And we will see you all next week, hopefully with some more Reds win stuff. We like that.
We do like our red legs.
Good night, everybody. Love you all.
Good night. See you guys on Monday.